Well, as we're all looking ahead at the reality of this school year, where we're going to have kids at times remote and distance at home and at times live and in our classroom, we are starting to think as reading teachers about how we could maybe utilize the Smekens Education Literacy eLessons that we created last spring. And I most recently received a particular question from Julie Goodman. She's an 8th grade language arts teacher in Fort Wayne. And she asked, Christina, I want to use your literacy eLessons with my students. Where can I find the texts and passages you use so that I can get it to my kids? How can I really maximize this? And so, Julie, let me explain a few things that we set up and the reasons we set it up within the eLessons, and then let you kind of pick and choose what will work best for your scenario. So first, you just go to smekenseducation.com, right on the homepage there, free literacy lessons. Click on that. Takes you to the page where all of the eLessons are kind of itemized and linked there. And so as you scroll down, you, Julie, are 8th grade, so I assume you were hanging out over here in the far right column for the ELA lessons for grade 7 through 12. They're all organized, of course, by categories. So if you wanted to, what are some video-based, ready-to-go lessons for inferring or retelling or summarizing, questioning, whatever it might be, you can kind of scroll through and see those. Okay, so now regarding the resources and accessing them, let's say you want to teach paraphrasing, and as you're teaching that even live with your kids, then you want to kind of follow it up with their next day at home and give them access to our literacy eLessons. But you need the passage and you need all those pieces. So I'm just going to click on this paraphrase, which is part of retelling and summarizing, right? And you have access to it in Vimeo and or YouTube, all right, because some of our districts block certain platforms. All right, so now, obviously, you can just forward the kids this link and they can then watch the video, but you're inquiring about the resources, the student passages. Where did you get those? Where can I get those? Absolutely. Scroll below the videos. Again, whether it's YouTube or Vimeo, scroll below the lessons and it'll say read more in Vimeo, or it'll say show more in YouTube. And down here is where you'll find all the resources you're looking for. So where it says student resources, okay, so here are the things at the end of the video. I say, okay, now it's your turn. I want you to do this. You're going to paraphrase. Here is the text. And so you can just, again, when you share with them the link to the video, say, kids, scroll down, click on student sources. That's resources. That's where it is. And so they have access to it right there. These are the passages. We've always hyperlinked them as well when we've pulled something off the internet, so you can access them there. A lot of these resources are not just PDFs, but they're Google Docs or a Word document or whatever. So you want to look throughout these student resources. Now, I also want to point out that a lot of teachers are excited about these lessons, but they want to be their kid's teacher. And that's why we gave you all of the teacher resources as well. So if you're like, Christina, I want to do exactly what you did in the video, I just want it to be my face. Okay, well, here are the 14 slides you saw me deliver in the recorded lesson. I introduced it. Here was the passage. I showed these pictures. I walked them through an I do. Then we did a we do. And then I announced, here's your task, and gave that. And so I announced, this is what it's going to look like. All of that is under the teacher resources, because you need what the students are going to do, but you needed the instructional tools, the resources ahead of time. So the teacher resources have student and teacher things. The student resources are only what they need for the task. Making sense? I also want you to take note that we build anchor charts. We're really big on the visual anchor chart to anchor their learning, because we're throwing a lot at them in a video platform. And so if you want to also create your own anchor chart behind you while executing the lesson, we gave you all the pieces and parts you see us use. It says right there, overall anchor chart, bam, this is what it'll look like at the end of that series. And here are all of the pieces we cut and taped together onto our chart paper behind us. And so absolutely take it, use it, and you be their teacher if that's more helpful. Thanks for your question, and everybody have a great startup.